Matt Show. How are you, Matt?
I'm very good, thank you, Kat. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Where were you last week? I noticed you were skiving off work.
I was at home decorating my new house, so I'm glad to be back
I
in
bet.
work. Yeah,
Not the most restful week.
not really, no. Yeah, got a lot done. Starting to come along there, so fingers crossed, nearly
Oh,
finished.
that's good. Must be quite satisfying seeing the transformation.
It's quite therapeutic, but I'm just fed up of
Yeah.
cleaning paintbrushes and
The fumes probably get.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice to be back then, for sure. Well, we've missed you, and I think there's been a couple of recent product updates while you've been gone as well. Do you want to fill us in?
Yes, so we've had an update to classroom.cloud, a big change there. We've now got PowerShell support, so you can send remote PowerShell scripts to your Windows devices.
Nice.
And we've also had an update to our ServiceDesk product, which has had so many changes, I can't remember them all. So head over to our website for a full list of what's new, and it also includes the other changes to classroom.cloud.
Brilliant, yeah. And you can also check out our Learning Hub. If you're not signed up already, make sure you do sign up, because there's lots of top tips and guides and videos, and I know that Matt will have some videos on there about those as well, so it'll be a useful way for you to get up to date.
Absolutely. So, Kat, I feel we should maybe have a EdTech discussion.
Oh, okay.
So,
Let's go for it.
unless you've been sort of hiding under a rock for the past 12 months or so, big kind of subject, not just in sort of EdTech, but tech in general, AI, big players.
Yeah. What's AI? No, I'm kidding. It's been everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, big players have kind of, they've launched their products. There's been a kind of lot of talk about how it can be used in education, the sort of the good sides, the bad sides. But you as a former teacher, what do you see the plus points? What do you see as maybe some of the issues that it could raise using it in a classroom?
Yeah, so I think there's some plus points. I mean, there's a lot of administrative work for teachers that could be streamlined using tools like AI. Even things like sometimes you get such hefty documents from the government of new guidance and things, and you could pop that into AI and get it to pull out all the key points for you. So there's a lot of different ways you could streamline and get things, help you with your planning, things like that. As long as you're using it kind of as a supporting tool rather than to do it all for you. We do have a really nice article actually on Rise at the moment about AI that I'd recommend people read, because it talks about how to craft your prompts and the right tools to use so that you can get the most out of it, really. And there are things that you can do with pupils as well. So I know that Maggie, one of our net supporters before, shared that actually you could get pupils to kind of mark the AI's work or get them to do some research using it, find out how accurate it is, how would it solve a problem, would it be in the same solution as you. That's really nice. There's lots of things you can do with that. But then obviously there are a lot of issues around kind of the ethics of it, bias within it, but also things like plagiarism. So there are issues, but I think a lot of educators are using it really well, and I think it's just about monitoring how we're using it and how students are using it as well, being mindful of that.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said about plagiarism, because I don't necessarily think that is a new thing.
No, that's probably a fair point, actually.
Now, I can tell you sort of when technology comes out, there is always a way to, how should we say, use it less ethically in education.
True. That's very true.
I can particularly relate.
What did you do?
Well, many years ago, I wasn't quite the fine, upstanding person you see sitting before you now. I was at college and I was doing a business studies course, and the way the course used to work was that we'd get taught a module and then we'd have about a month or so to produce a sort of project based on that module, which if you spent a little bit of time each evening was quite a light workload. Now, unfortunately for me, I was too busy, distracted with other things, and I would tend to try and do a month's worth of work the evening before the project was due to be handed in.
That sounds like my nightmare. I would have been the opposite. I'd be trying to get it done as quickly as possible out of the way.
I would be up probably all night doing the project the night before.
Yeah.
So one particular project came up, and I can't remember what it was, but I had to write about a page about the sort of UK sort of population and the amount of cities and all that kind of thing. And I thought I could save some time by using a product called Microsoft Encarta. Now, for our younger viewers who don't know what Encarta is or was, it's basically an encyclopedia that came on a CD-ROM. They're those shiny discs. Yeah. If you don't know what a CD-ROM is, what we used to store data on to use with computers. Imagine kind of Wikipedia, but sort of tiny version on
Yeah.
a disk. So I loaded up in Carter, found the section on the UK and copied and pasted it into my document, thinking, brilliant, I've saved myself about an hour's worth of work here. So next morning, hand the project in, sorted. Day after, get a call from the tutor, come and see me. Is this your work? Absolutely, miss. Yeah, it's all mine.
Were you sweating as she asked you this question?
I thought no.
Do you
She's
think you
just
can get away with
she's
it?
just
Yeah.
sort of, maybe she's suspicious, but she can't prove it's been copied and pasted. So I thought I'll bluff it. I was like, no, it's all mine, miss. She opened my project to the page that I copied and pasted, and because I've been so tired, I left the Encarta copyright at the bottom of the page.
Bit of a giveaway.
Yeah. So at that point, I didn't really sort of have a leg to stand on in
No.
terms of denying. And my punishment was to have to redo that project. So remember, kids,
Seems fair.
cheaters never prosper. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's always a way to kind of abuse technology. I mean, that was pretty low tech compared to going to an AI and asking them
Absolutely.
to write
I mean,
an
it's
essay
the same
for
as
you.
copying from a website or
Yeah.
anything like that. I think that's where the assessment for learning comes in, that a lot of teachers would naturally do anyway, which is ask students, pointed questions about, the project or their learning, and get a feel of how much they actually know and how much they've just kind of, copied and pasted or just kind of done from rote without really understanding. So.
Yeah, but it's sort of in terms of ethics, I actually did a bit of research before the show, and I actually loaded up one of the AI platforms, and I put in where can I download pirate films, and the response I got back is I can't help you with this question, which is fair enough. You know, I'm asking to do something illegal.
Yeah,
it's
makes
probably
sense.
right that it gives me that response. However, I then worded the question slightly differently. And I managed to not only get it to return a list of about a dozen piracy
different response
websites,
then, yeah.
I managed to get it to return the URLs as well. So I
Wow.
asked it another question, not directly give me the websites, but I kind of worded it in such a way that I sort of fooled it, and it returned those. So it's one of those sort of issues where it's not smart enough to realise when somebody is trying to sort of dupe it by sort of pretending they're asking for something for a semi-legitimate reason, when actually they want to use it for all the wrong reasons there.
Information at the end.
So yeah, that is certainly an issue, but also with it kind of shutting down the conversation. Now, with what I asked it, that's fine, but also what's going to kind of happen if certain companies or governments don't want certain information available? Are they going to stop AI from returning certain information? We've got to be careful about what we're actually sort of believing.
That's true.
Just because
Yeah.
it's come from an AI platform doesn't necessarily mean it's completely true and unbiased.
Yeah, it could get quite political, and also you don't necessarily know how up to date that is as well. So sometimes it can be information that's like quite some time behind that could have changed, since that has been recorded on there.
Yeah,
as well.
and it's like any kind of platform. If the information that's going in is bad, what is coming out the other side
Yes,
is also
absolutely.
going to be bad. You probably sort of know this from your time working in a school. Assessment data into the MIS system. If you're not accurate with what you're putting in, then predicted grades and things like that are obviously going to come out all wrong.
Exactly.
It's rubbish in, rubbish out, as they say. So it's only as good as the information that the AI is learning from. So that's a kind of another issue there. But
Yeah, absolutely.
you can do some quite cool stuff with it. I've had it write in PowerShell code. I've had mixed results. Some of it's been good. Some of it has come out with errors in, but it's still a new technology, so it's possibly not going to be perfect. What it does seem to be quite good is actually improving existing code. I've put existing code in there and said, here's my code, can you improve this? And it's come back and it's kind of refined it. It's taught me a few things. I didn't realise I could kind of
That's
do
useful,
something in
using
that
it
way.
almost like a tutor kind of
Yeah,
aspect.
yeah. So again, that potentially could have benefits in the classroom. If a student's done something, you say, well, you actually could put it in here. And I suppose it's the AI is almost sort of marking it or kind of giving feedback to the students.
There are a lot of AI tools for marking as well. So yeah, there is definitely that component. Or even things like for learning from home, if students haven't got access to a teacher, they can still kind of get that feedback.
Yeah, but I think it's like a lot of technologies. There are a lot of things we can talk about as pluses. but there are also a lot of things that maybe aren't as good, or they raise issues. I mean, it's like the internet itself. We could sit here and we could have a discussion about how the internet has made society better, but we could also have the exact same discussion about how the internet has made things worse and it has caused new problems that weren't around before it existed. So
there's always two sides of the coin.
Yeah, and I think that's just human nature. Whenever something new comes along, it has advantages, but also there tends to be a flip side and a downside. It creates new problems or things like that. So it's a new technology, but I don't think it's raising necessarily new problems. I think we've been dealing with this for a long kind of time, when something sort of seismic kind of sort of changes and sort of revolutionises sort of how we live a little bit.
It always goes through these phases, and it's kind of, they often say technology is a reflection of society and us, so it does kind of show that side as well. Although speaking of tech, you have got a really exciting event coming up, and I'm not jealous at all that you're going to this event.
Yes, so very soon I will be heading over to the United States to attend the ISTE show, which is in Denver, Colorado this year. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So if you are watching this from the other side of the pond and you happen to be in the Denver area or can get to the Denver area, do stop along and see us if you are at the ISTE show. If you're based in the UK, we also have a number of events coming up over the summer, so check out the website. I think we've got links there, so if any of those are local to you, do pop along and say hello. We love feedback.
Yeah, we do.
Getting and speaking to our customer base.
I look forward to seeing whatever freebies you bring back from Denver as well. I'm sure you have a new collection.
They do have some very good freebies at the American event. So
I can imagine.
maybe that's one for the next show, Kat.
Yeah,
I can turn up and I can make you extra jealous by showing you all the great freebies that I've managed to blag.
Yeah, exactly. Please bring me back some Reese's.
I will try and remember. I have got half a case full of crunchy bars for Maggie in our US office. Apparently you can't get crunchies out in the US.
Yeah, so not so popular apparently. So.
Yeah, so every time we go over there, I have to take her a supply of crunchies. Yeah.
Brilliant. So as well as events, we've got lots of new resources. So have a look at our website for things like upcoming webinars, events, new videos and things that have been added to the portal. Check out Rise Magazine. As usual, there's lots of good stuff to look at.
Absolutely. And I think that brings this episode to a close.
I think it does. I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all again in the next show.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.